Welcome back, episode 257 of your mother's favorite podcast. This is the Washed Up Walk-Ons, and we are riding a real hot streak, just like the Hawks are, rolling into week 7. This is the pre-Purdue episode, and I don't really know how much we're going to talk about that, but I know we're going to get into some fun. So, Clifford, what do you got?
Well, I just want to welcome all the new people. I told the boys this yesterday. Yesterday was the first time we had like a real, I wouldn't call it a sit down, but there's not like company meetings here at the Washed Up Walk-Ons. You know, like we don't have a boardroom or we don't even have a
like. This is it. The podcast is where we talk shop.
Yeah, literally you guys hear all of our ideas. But what I recognize, and I guess it's because I cried, and I want to say something real quick. Okay, I had something in my eye the other day. Okay. Bug or some dust. Someone was chopping onions in here because I got something in my eye. All right. And that's
why was your voice quivering so bad?
Because I was yelling real loud at the Penn State game and it's still recovering. And I don't know who.
Why were you sniffling so damn hard?
It's allergy season, dude. It's a combination of a bunch of factors. And I don't want our listeners, especially our new listeners, thinking I got soft. Okay. Because I didn't. This podcast stays nose to the grindstone, eyes forward, mouth shut, going to work. Okay? This is a walk-on podcast. We don't rest on our laurels here. We don't start patting ourselves on the back. All right? We're going back to work, just like the Hawks are this week, because Purdue isn't going to make it easy. David Bell has had 40,000 yards on us the last 2 years combined. All right. And we're going to get to him. But I do want to welcome in the listeners. A bunch of you, I told Kevin and Drake, I'm sad because a lot of you are just tuning in for the first time on the Penn State. And like you found us because your friends are retweeting the podcast, which is great. It's awesome that you're here now. But what do we got to do, man? I'm going to start going door to door, passing out flyers. But we're happy to have you here. We're happy to have all of the Patreon members that are here and those that continue to sign up. Really, really cool Walk On Army exclusive t-shirt over there if you want it. Also, Drake and I got to do something really, really cool this morning.
Coolest.
I'm saying it probably is a top. This is including like all the games we played in. This might be like a top 10 cool moment in my life. I woke up.
We're the coolest kids in Iowa today.
Yeah. I woke up
I'm in Arizona. But...
Yeah, true. I woke up on Sunday morning from a direct message from Big E. Okay. Told him I'd get him a flag. He's like, hey, if you're serious about that flag, ... I was like, I'm serious about the flag also. How about you come on the podcast, huh? How about you come talk with the boys for about 45, 50 minutes? And he did. He sure did, didn't he, Drake?
It was a phenomenal conversation.
It was everything that I could have imagined it to be.
He brought the World Heavyweight Championship and had that sumbitch on his shoulder the whole time.
The entire time he sits with his belt. I mean, me and Drake, he gets into the Zoom meeting. You guys are going to see it. It comes out tomorrow. You're listening to this episode on Thursday. The Big E. It's like everybody's on Patreon this week. Everybody gets an extra episode. Hey, we love it. If you're on Patreon this week, you hear Drake and I 4 times this week, man. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. This is just turning into a radio show. Put us on Sirius XM, baby. Come on now. That's probably a lot. Way too much for some of you. Kevin, I want to get you in the conversation. You're wearing your the North Remembers shirt.
The North remembers. Yep.
Big Game of Thrones guy.
For all you Lannister fans out there, the North remembers.
Who would the Hawks be as a house this year in Game of Thrones? What do you think? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not. I think that's a question for another episode.
It's probably a whole
every team. We gotta come up with a house for every team in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I think after what Herb Street said about us, we're the White Walkers.
We're the White Walkers, huh? I don't know. I don't know.
No one
about that.
believes in us, but we're deadly.
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of killers, man.
I like it. I like
Herb
it.
Street said they're the guys you don't want to get into a fight with.
It's true.
And that's the White Walkers.
It's true.
They just don't stop coming until they kill you.
Did you guys know that our D-backs are calling themselves the Doughboys? The Doughboys.
I'm sure they're making a lot of money for all these interceptions they're bringing back to Iowa City.
And I think that's what they're getting at. And what I'm thinking is, well, then why don't the washed up walk-ons come out with a Doughboys merchandise item? Like, why don't we partner, give them all the cash, right? All the profit goes to those 4 or 6. I mean, at this point, it looks like there's 14 of them out there for opposing QBs. And we make a cool ass Doughboys collab with the DBs.
I'm here for it, man.
Parker would hate us.
Yeah, he would, but
Parker would figure out you guys are fucking working with Kevin Ward's trying to he's trying to make you guys some money. God damn it.
No, me and Phil are cool. He'd be
pissed at them.
You two.
What?
He's not pissed at me.
No.
Me and Phil are cooler than you and Phil.
Don't know.
Listen, man, he never had to coach me. So it was just like I never did anything to piss Phil off except for make a body bags comment.
Yeah, did you ever make him proud either? No, probably not.
We can end the podcast, dude. He said, did you ever make, he's like his son. Kevin's like Phil's son, and he's a little jealous that you're looking for some attention from dad. And Kevin's like, have you ever made him proud? Because I did.
You know what? I stand corrected. Touche.
Kevin, I know for a fact I never made him proud. In fact, I was usually in the way. So yeah, he'd probably be pissed. He'd give them a minus on the whatever next grade they got just for associating with us. The Doughboys, man, they're doing all right. They're doing all right. So yeah, I want to say something else about our fans, by the way. This last week, we had, and I haven't even told you guys this, we had one of our own trying to get our Hawks by a Million flag to be the flag that Herky's in the house. There was a guy doing work. Shout out, you know who you are, to try and get Herky to have our flag as he rolls out of the tunnel.
Oh, really?
Where are we at with this?
Shut down. You want to know why? Because Dale. No, I don't think Dale has anything to do with that. Honeypot shirts coming soon, by the way. And also probably fully tinted shirts coming soon. People are loving that. It can't happen, I don't think. Unless, I don't know. Because it's our thing. Anybody that we make money from, like anybody that advertises or sponsors for us, also has to be in line with the university. There's a crossover, whatever. Also,
what if they just like cut out the corner that has our logo?
Right. And I thought maybe that's, which those technically aren't supposed to be on there anyway. And that's a whole other story that I haven't told you guys. But then I did tell you guys this, didn't tell the Washed Up Walk-On fans this. We've got somebody, another listener of the podcast. I swear to God, you guys would actually go to war with us if we needed to. We've got somebody who's trying to put us on a stage with full audio production, branding, microphones, earpieces, and produce an entire Washed Up Walk-Ons Hawks by a Million tailgate show at Kinnick on game day. There's somebody out there who thinks that we need to do a full-on production of Hawks by a Million game day edition. Have a guest on there, live podcast from the stage. And I'm just sitting back like, what's going on? That doesn't.
We need to find some old dude that can't talk to replace Lee Corso, but I'm saying, Kluver, you're Desmond. I'm Kirk.
You're
Drake,
definitely.
I don't know who the hell you are. You're the bear, I guess. I don't know. No, Kluver's the
Wow. Don't you ever I will shit in the top of your toilet.
He's gonna upper deck you for calling him the bear, man. Holy smokes. Yeah. So anyway, there's there's a lot of weird things happening right now and we're going to try and push this thing forward. Part of that is actually giving you guys good content about football. So let's talk a little bit about that. Kev, on my tweet today, you mentioned how there was in the middle of the play call, they tried to check to cover 2, and Jack did not get that check, which is why he ran with the running back one-on-one.
Jack didn't get the check. Dane didn't get the check, and Benson didn't get the check. So you had half the back 7 playing cover 0, all-out pressure. The other half's playing cover 2. 3 guys are wide open. Just so happens he threw it to the one guy that was not.
I think this demonstrates a lot of things. I think, and this is really good for the common fan. I'm a common fan. The play in question is Hankins' big time 4th down stop late in the 4th quarter, right? Had to have it. I believe they just crossed the 50. Actually, they're on our side of the
field.
Right
around midfield. Yeah.
And they run a rub route where I don't know if it was the 3, the tight end or the 8, whoever he rubbed on Jack Campbell to kind of pick him, and the running back's running free to the flat, and Hankins drops off and just sticks him. Didn't wrap up, like Kevin said. But hey,
it doesn't matter if he goes to the ground.
Hey, if he goes down, you do whatever you want, Hank. All right? You do whatever you want, because I'm not there to make that play. I know that. And I know Cheeto Fingers in row 168 ain't there either, right? That's why you're wearing number 8 and you're balling. How often does that happen, Kev, where there's like a check that doesn't get communicated, and now we have multiple guys, maybe not the Iowa specifically, but like we got different levels of the defense playing 2 different coverages. Like that seems like an issue. And I know it was really, really abnormally loud there. That's what it was.
Yeah. So when it gets like super, super loud, like you saw what happened to Penn State's offensive line. Like they couldn't read the snap count. The guy standing 5 yards behind him. You could see the safeties trying to make the checks, and there's hand signals too involved. But hand signals don't help when you're not looking at them. So that's why the DB is generally pretty good at looking at the safeties, getting the call, getting the check. Hey, we're changing coverages. It's a little bit harder to communicate that to the front 7.
What would have been the indicator for who makes that call, first of all? Jack?
Usually it's the safeties that have the overriding authority.
And why would Jack or whoever, Kayvon, why would they have, what did they see on that play that made them check to cover 2?
I'm guessing it wasn't, no, it wouldn't have just been their, I don't like this, we're going to cover 2. It would have been probably in the game plan, like, hey, we see this formation.
In the specific formation, they were balanced set, running back to the right. They motioned a guy into a 1 receiver left, 3 right. So I don't know if that's what they saw, and they're like, okay, if that happens.
Right, I mean, it's a good thing they did. They made the right check, because Penn State ran some crossing routes that, like you said, they were trying to run rub routes, which is very effective versus man. Especially 0 man. You have no help behind you. If one guy gets picked, it's off to the races. So they made the good check. It's just almost impossible. You literally have to go like probably shake the guy and say, hey, we're running cover 2.
Right. And it also demonstrates how, Spencer has been knocked for not getting through his progressions or kind of zoning in on his first. I think clearly the running back in the flat was the go-to there.
So, yeah, I'm guessing the quarterback was, he sees pressure. Like we had 2 linebackers blitzing. We brought 6. We had 5 in coverage against 5. They ran 5 receiver route. So he's thinking, okay, that's man. Who's going to be open in man-to-man? It's the guy who's going to get rubbed. So that I think the running back was designed to run through 2 picks. So you had 2 guys go up, and one guy do like a 10-yard dig, one guy do like a 5-yard in. So versus man-to-man, that is 100% the right place to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Just so happens, every now and then being fucked up just works out for you.
Yeah. And it also helps when you have one of the top 2 corners in the country, the other who happens to be Riley Moss, on your team. And he makes, he's sinking to the flat there, and he just made a very quick play, right? Like he He just it's right place, right time, and he made.
Yeah, I mean, in cover 2, that's where the corner's playing
Right.
is right there. And if the running back's running into his zone, he's going to go pick him up.
Yeah.
And
Kev, just talking about this, because I don't know, just talking about, someone said on Twitter that you should be a coach. Just talking about this stuff get you at all amped up? Like, I wish I could exercise this knowledge / passion in this way, or do you give a shit about coaching at all in the future?
I mean, could maybe coach at some point. I don't know. Man. I think I scratched the itch enough just kind of like watching football being played and kind of breaking it down myself in my head.
Okay. And you probably don't have time because, I mean, we were late for this podcast because Kevin was on an HOA, homeowners association meeting.
Oh yeah.
Dude, what do you
for all of you soon to be homeowners, would be homeowners, current homeowners, HOAs are literal communism. They're horrible.
Kevin just tried to say homeowners 3 times and he only got it right once.
Well, he's that flustered. Something's going down in the neighborhood that's really causing some stress. Are raccoons in the garbage, or people parking on the wrong side of the street? What's going on?
Oh man, they're just not good at their jobs, man. We pay for like good lawn care and snow removal, and it just doesn't get done.
Oh, same here, man. Same here. Our lawn care is decent. They didn't pick our weeds for over a year, and the snow removal is always 2 days late. So
no, I mean, like, there was people shouting at the manager, like full on shouting, cussing him out and everything. And I'm just like, all right, well, I'm glad Zoom has a mute video function.
This got uncomfortable quick. That's tough.
I mean, no, it's hilarious.
Brenda from 148 down the road is going to kill the HOA manager.
It's recorded, and I'm seriously considering just like posting it on YouTube and letting people watch it.
Oh, God, I'm sure you're not the only one to have a good HOA meeting story. So if you got any, send it to us. Yeah, that one play is very interesting, how you can break down so many things just on one play that happens.
I mean, the first time I remember seeing it live, and it looked like, I'm like, oh, that looks weird, but fast play, bang, bang. You don't see a replay. You just see, you don't care. We stopped on 4th down. I'm jumping
right
down and tossing my girlfriend 3 rows behind me.
Kevin is just going absolutely ballistic, bro. He doesn't have time for a jumbotron.
Punches Alyssa in the face, just knees the guy behind him in the nuts. Hell yeah, let's go.
Hey, it's like the time where Bo made an eagle, threw his wedge in the air and hit Kevin in the top of the head with.
No, other way around, man. I hit Bo.
Oh, you hit Bo?
Yeah.
Tell the story.
Oh yeah, I felt so bad about that. Like, that was like my second or third eagle I've ever made.
And you tossed your club in the air. And
I chipped in from about 50 yards out, and I tossed my club up in the air in celebration. And Bo was just like walking towards the green with his arms up, and I just see the thing in slow motion come. I'm trying to warn Bo, and it just hits him square in the noggin, like the club face.
I can't breathe.
And you know what's even worse is
it hit him hard, bro. Bo was mad as you've ever seen Bo.
And the worst part was, not 15 minutes later, we finished the round, and he owes me $50.
Oh no, dude! And Bo gets mad too. Bo gets mad.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, what I was saying is, when I watched the actual replay, the highlight, I'm like, oh yeah, we're all fucked up here.
Dude, if that quarterback is competent at all, and he just looks to the middle of the field, and I don't know if the receivers, they're crossing in it and it's wide open. I don't even think they're looking back for the ball yet, because again, on these plays, it takes time to develop. You look back at a certain point in your route.
No, but I think it is what I said. I think he sees the middle linebacker, take off with the running back.
Right. And
he sees obviously the 2 blitzers. So automatically in your head as a quarterback, you're thinking that's man to man.
Right.
This is my first read in man to man.
Yeah.
Little do you know that we're just playing the most bizarre coverage in the history of college football.
half man,
Hey,
half coverage.
Phil beat him with like a Peyton Manning beater, dude. Phil put together a defensive call that would have fooled Tom Brady at his wittiest.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That coverage just doesn't exist.
It's just, what are they running? Guy comes off the field, coach, I think they created a new defense.
Yeah.
It's something different. I've never seen it. A lot of drama has continued over the last 3 days. Mostly because Coach Ferentz, the head man in charge, was asked about the fake injuries. And I'm sure plenty of you have seen this at this point, but I'm going to share this with the sound. This is what Coach had to say.
Into it, and first of all, I know a couple players were legitimately hurt. I know that. Saw one sitting on the bench. Just happened for whatever reason, like there was an opening. I saw him, and I know he had a ice bag on his leg. Obviously, the quarterback didn't come back, so I hope those guys are well. I don't know what their status is. Nobody wants to see anybody get hurt. Nobody. But
I kind of wanted to see Clifford get hurt, just so that he was out of the game, because he was killing us. Just an ankle that would have felt real good about 8 p.m. That's what I wanted. You're muted, Drake.
I think probably it's a reaction to there were a couple guys that were down for the count, and then we're back a player or two later. And I mean, our fans aren't stupid. I mean, they're watching, they know what's going on. And I've been here 23 years. I think that's only the second time we've seen that kind of stuff going on. I know it's a topic nationally right now. It's it was one of the discussions of the rules maker. They don't quite know. Nobody knows the answer to it, but it's and I also know for a fact that people. I'm not saying there are two people in our building that have been places where that was scuba or dive. No, scuba and turtle were the code words for. So it goes on. We don't coach it. Haven't really been exposed to it. And, but our fans thought they smelled a rat, I guess. I don't know. So, they responded the way they responded.
He was trying to hold back laughter when he said, smelled a rat.
Bro. And you can see him sort of pause and really think about how he wanted to say that, because he does not say shit like this. He does not get it. He doesn't.
He also said I think I saw a lot of people put words in his mouth.
Yeah.
He said, I think the fans thought they smelled a rat.
Right. He's speculating. He's speculating on what the fans were doing. He's not saying, although then he does go into it and say, we got 2 guys on staff who have been places where they use terms to signal, hey, you go down so we can get some time back here. This is really interesting stuff, dude. And also, before we move on.
So now give me Franklin's rebuttal.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll give you Frank.
Oh, he came out and said something?
Well, their media day was today, Wednesday.
Anybody that's listening to take your Penn State hat off or take your Iowa hat off. And I'm just going to talk in what I believe and what I think from a strategy standpoint, from a common sense perspective, from what's good for football, in my opinion, college football. So how does this strategy make sense against a huddle team? People use this strategy to slow people down. Spread offenses, tempo offenses, they huddle. So that strategy did not make sense in this situation.
Not always true.
In our 6 years of playing them, 6 years straight, 4-2 with our record, has that ever shown up? Has anybody seen that? In my 8 years as a head coach, has that showed up at Penn State? In my 12 years as a head coach, has that showed up? Has not showed up. Plus our defense is playing lights out. Our defense is playing great. Our defense is playing lights out. We turned the ball over to start the game inside the 5-yard line, held them to a field goal. So again, go back and check it. And again, I'm not talking. I got tremendous respect for the University of Iowa. I got tremendous respect for their fans. It was a hell of a game in a tough environment. I'm not making excuses. I'm just stating how I see the facts. Take your fan hats off. I want the Penn State fans to take their hats off. Now let's talk about injuries. Okay, now hold on a second. Before that, now put yourself in the shoes of a parent. You're
Apparently they do their media right by a fucking racetrack also, as you can hear in the back. Like the Indy 500 is going on behind them.
Your son is down on the field for an injury, and the stadium is booing them. We didn't just boo that, we booed balls falling off tees by the wind. I don't know who we were booing for that. We weren't gaining an advantage of that. But your son's down on the field with an injury, and I just told you PJ Mustipher is done for the year, and we're booing. Is that good for college football?
That's 2 minutes and 20 seconds worth, because of the Twitter limit, of supposedly a 5-minute response / rebuttal to KF and the whole situation. So I don't know. That's the first time I've heard it. I did not listen to either of those full clips before this. I will say this, him pointing out that it's never, ever looked like they've done that before. It's never shown up. And then all of a sudden it does the other night is maybe a knock against them. Like why does it now appear so in this one game that it's showing up? We played a lot of football games, man. I have never seen that many people go down with it. I don't think I've ever seen that many people go down with injuries in any game that we were up or down, let alone at the opportune times that they did. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. I actually went back and rewatched the game, and the first guy that gets hurt, it's after like a 1-yard loss. It's like 2 minutes into the game. No one's really booing that guy.
Right.
What they were booing is with number one, what's his name? Brisker, I think. Is T. Good breaks off a long run.
Mm-hmm.
Brisker's down, comes back one play later.
Yeah.
All right. They see that, and then boom, automatically the fans are on edge.
Right.
There were a couple guys that did go down and did not come back in the game.
Clifford.
I think it was just one more guy on defense went down and didn't come
Mustipher is his name. I believe that's
no. That was the first guy.
Okay.
He was the defensive lineman. There was another guy. I think he was like number 0. Went out second or third quarter. I forget. But yeah, they see number 1. I think his name is Jaquan Brisker. Go down, comes back one play later. That's in the back of their mind. Don't like that. So that's probably where it stemmed from. You know, you see that, and then you're automatically on edge. And it happened at very suspicious times, too.
Yeah.
And then the one where the video came of Coach Woods like flopping on the sideline to make fun of him.
Incredible.
Completely fair to do so.
Yeah.
The guy was, you could see him chasing, like running at full speed. And it doesn't show in the TV broadcast, but you know, he's running after the ball. It was a 20-yard run, I think, or something like that. And you know, I forget who had the ball, but play ends. We zoom in on the actual running back, I think, and then all of a sudden we know that there's a guy, he's sitting down. He's just sitting on his butt. They do like the fake check on him.
Yeah.
He's fine. He hops up.
Yeah.
Walks off the field. He's getting his ass booed. He's back in the game 3 plays later.
One guy, it might have been that play. One guy stopped on the Tiger Hawk at midfield, did a couple bounces. Like, haha, fuck you. I got us a 30 or 60 second extension here and stopped a little momentum, went off, and then came back on the field.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's two plays right there where you're just like, come on. The one guy's back literally one play later. The other guy's back 3 plays later.
You act like a bitch.
We said in the last episode, if you're good enough to come back the next play, you're perfectly capable of hobbling your ass off the field. I think what we said, is if you go down, you got to be out for the rest of the series.
Yeah,
If we're actually that concerned about player safety, then that's got to be the rule.
Yeah, Drake, what was your quote there?
So if you act like a bitch, we're gonna treat you like a bitch.
Okay. I thought you said if you act like a bitch, we're gonna treat you like a fish.
No.
It's like what? Yeah, no, it's interesting that to think that an opposing staff would actually implement such calls, which clearly KF and some of the coaching staff have been around when that's happened at other places. That's intriguing. That is intriguing. And I don't like James Franklin. Somebody on there said something like 1 minute comment by Coach Ferentz versus a 5 minute prepped answer from James Franklin. Seems like we know all we need to know. I tend to agree with that.
Also, if I was James Franklin, I would be having podiums everywhere so that my fat gut wasn't showing, because it doesn't look like James Franklin's done a workout or watched a calorie in a dozen years.
Yeah. Love that little subtle coaching shot where he goes, in our 6 years that we played him, 4-2, the record. Fuck that guy, huh?
He didn't beat us. Saquon Barkley beat us.
Yeah, Saquon did, and Douche McSwirly. I do think, though, that the walk-ons in the Christmas holiday run, which many have been asking about, little segue, we're getting good at this shit now, okay? Watch out. 3 weeks from now, we're going to be dropping a Christmas run. And yes, because of supply chain that year, you're literally going to be ordering Christmas presents for either yourself or your family and friends with Hawks by a Million and some other sayings and designs that we have in late October, early November, so that we can have it to you by Christmas time. What do we say? Why don't we make a little scuba design or a little turtle design, huh? Like a little, I don't know. I think
we put James Franklin as the head of the turtle, like
right.
His head's poking out the shell.
Or
let's make James Franklin the ass of the turtle.
Yeah, make him the body with that gut, and then isn't there somebody called Franklin the Turtle? Isn't that like a kid's story?
Oh yeah.
So
that is a thing. That's
let's
right.
put his face on Franklin's body and sell that as a t-shirt. I think we could sell, I don't know.
Oh my God, that'd be
about 1 million of them. James Franklin the Turtle. Did you get it? Did you pull it up?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's move past that. I haven't tweeted about it. I think it's a waste of energy and time. The game's over. I mean, the salt has been real. Yeah, you gotta, I don't know. Your phone's too bright, I think. There it is. Yeah. So let's move on to Purdue. Purdue's had our number a little bit, huh?
Yeah, we owe them a nice swift kick in the balls, dude.
Little kick in the balls. This year, Purdue, the Boilermakers, are 3-2, currently second behind the Hawks in the Big Ten West. Beat Oregon State, not exactly a stellar program, early in the year, 30-21. Beat UConn, which is potentially one of the worst college football teams in the country, 49-0. Lost to Notre Dame. That's just true. I mean, am I right, Kev? They're pretty bad. UConn.
Oh, UConn? Yeah, they're horrible.
Yeah. Lost to Notre Dame, who was at the time ranked 12th, 27-13. Got a barn.
They were kind of in that game. Like they were never really, they were never really in control of that game, but they were kind of hung around, and then Notre Dame pulled away late.
Yeah. At home, a barn burner versus the Illini and Bielema, 13-9 win over the Illinois Illini, Fighting Illini. And then last week, they pulled out a 20-13 win. Maybe that was 2 weeks ago.
2013 loss. They lost
20-13 loss. Sorry about that. Minnesota beat them to 20-13. Minnesota, not exactly, a Big Ten championship caliber team, at least through 5 games either. So 3-2, and they've got the number 2 Hawks on their schedule.
What are their rushing stats?
Stat wise, we're looking at
They are averaging 89 yards a game.
Oh, they're in trouble. Are
Well, I
they
mean-
a throwing team?
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
I think they're in trouble.
You would think, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're great in our secondary, and if we know you can't run it on us, if you're averaging 80 yards a game, and we know that our run defense is way superior to your run offense, and you're going to have to rely on throwing it, like, I'll take our guys.
This is a little bit like
They
playing.
got some guys though. They got some guys.
They've got some
always
guys.
got some
Like
guys.
Clipper mentioned in the opener, David Bell's a dude.
They
How long has he been there, dude? It feels like David Bell's been catching balls at Purdue since we were there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he did our senior year. So it's been a while. This is a little similar to the Penn State matchup. I mean, Penn State as an offensive team is, with Clifford at least, they might have to figure some shit out. They need a 12th guy at this point on offense. They were more so a passing team. Noah Cain only averaged about 50 yards rushing a game. And that they kind of relied on Clifford to pick people apart. And then their defense would play really good defense. I don't think that Purdue's defense is the caliber of Penn State's defense.
But they're good. They're solid.
They're solid.
They haven't had they haven't played as tough a schedule as Penn State has yet.
No.
They're not going to be Penn State, but
Right.
they're a well-coached defense.
And I also don't think that we have to take into account here that they don't have their starting running back. And now his name slips me. What's his name? It's something weird. Horvath. And their starting quarterback was out at one point. I don't know if he's back or not. Looks like at quarterback, they have Aiden O'Connell and Jack Plummer. I don't know who is starting or who's hurt, but they both have 100+ attempts. And I don't know, they, completing at a 7-yard average, couple TDs for each. It's going to be a game where if Iowa plays ball like they need to play ball, this is a win for the Hawks, especially in Kinnick Stadium with a crowd that is sold out. The only game left, by the way, in Kinnick this year that has any tickets left is Illinois. All the other ones are sold out. So good for you, Hawk fans, because obviously, why wouldn't you want to watch a top 2 team in the country? Kev, why has David Bell been so effective? What have they done specifically to give us trouble in these Brome game plans in the past?
He's just really damn good, man. I mean, runs great routes, has great hands, and he's fast and quick as hell. I mean,
okay, so we lose then.
Sometimes it's just like you got a dude, and
how do we beat that guy? We double team him. I mean, we just nut shots, twist his ankle at the bottom of the pile. I mean, how do we? we just have to rely on the fact that our DBs are skilled, talented.
Our defensive line getting pressure on the quarterback sure as hell would help.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of man-to-man versus David Bell. I think, we don't play a ton man-to-man to begin with. Sometimes we do it on 3rd and longs, but I think you're just going to have to play zone over the top of him, try to, always be aware of where he's at on the field because that's where they're going to try to get the ball to. But, we never really game plan for specific personnel very much,
Right.
Every now and then we'd have a certain corner, like try to shut down their main guy, but usually we just play right corner, left corner. You stay on your side of the field. I stay on my side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if it becomes a real problem, then, Matt Hankins might have to stalk David Bell, but it just comes back to what it always is. Just playing good defense, being good in your fundamentals and good in your communication.
The offense, I don't know if, and this is a little bit contradictory to what we saw last week. It was a little helpful that, again, Clifford went out and our defense stepped up so big time. Our team isn't exactly built to come from behind, I would say, if you were going to look at it. We simply don't have that kind of passing attack where if there's 6 minutes on the clock, 2 touchdowns is still in the cards, like, or if we're down early, we can just start airing it out, and we got a bunch of, fancy passing attack strategies that we're going to come after you with. So, I think getting a lead early would help. I think the one thing that, and let's see if I can pull this up. We'll play one more video from the old Twitter. The thing that has stuck with me is that the players are talking about how this loss from last year has resonated and sort of stuck with them. And so I think that if I had to guess, there is a underdog mentality feeling in the program right now. And if you can somehow be an underdog as the two seed, like the NCAA tournament, the number 2 team in the country, I think that's really a good thing. Here's a clip from Spencer talking about being the hunted.
We talked about this a little bit with my previous question, but how do you guys handle being the hunted, instead of the hunter? You've got, a target on your back now every week.
Yeah, it's at this point, we know we're going to get the team's best shot every week. There's no easy games. Coach O'Keefe, Coach Ferentz, one of the biggest things that they're preaching right now, which I think is a really cool concept, is the law of the price tag. And it's essentially that the price never goes down, it only goes up. And in order to be successful, everyone on the team has to pay the price. So it's easy to slip into the mode of, we're 6-0, blah, 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 we're ranked high. This is, games are going to get easier. No, nothing gets easier. It only gets harder, especially because every team that we're going to play is bringing their best. Because, what a great opportunity for any team that we play, So we have to be on our game, and we have to bring it because the price never goes down. It's got to be paid.
The price never goes down. It's got to be paid. That really, really speaks to what I felt in that 2015 season. It felt like every single week that we kept winning, that I was looking for more ways to voluntarily pay the price. Kevin, I know you can, it's like every week we squeeze just a little bit tighter. You're trying to just get a little bit more juice out of that orange. Is that what the way you guys felt?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd say so. Sure. It just felt like kind of like what Spencer was saying, though. Like, the more you keep winning, the more you're going to get everybody's best shot.
Right. And
it felt like we kind of had to just strain to win every game.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like in practice. It's like, hey, we need our best practice this day, this week,
every day,
right?
Man, I'm so jealous because I know what that feeling is like, and I just want to feel it again. A lot of you, by the way, have reached out and said after we talked about getting our Big Ten tickets booked, that you guys have booked yours as well, and that you want to see us somehow in a bar or at a tailgate or at a live show in Indianapolis, and we are going to figure out the details on that. We will do something. Tailgate seems the most reasonable. We just have to figure out where that will be and what that will entail. Obviously, lots of alcohol, probably. But yeah, not much more else to talk about. This is really, and this might be a theme as well, is you kind of just have to play Iowa football and win the game. I mean, at this point,
we're 12-point favorites. Like,
right.
What is there to talk about?
And speaking of favorites, we might as well just get into our next segment. Kevin. Kev can never get enough. Every time he goes into the sports book, all of the casino goes up because they're going to win and he's going to lose.
Probably.
How do you feel this week, Kevin? How do you feel just in general? We're halfway through the year. Hey, we're halfway. 6-0. It's the best he can be.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. We got 15 games this year. It's not halfway. It's just over a third.
I like that energy. I meant the regular season. How we feeling about the sports betting this week, Kevin?
You know, I feel a little bit more confident every week, and I probably shouldn't. My scores have not gotten better every week.
Weren't we 9-0 last week?
No. We were.
I had one loss.
Yeah. So we were 8-1, I think. Good week.
I just came downstairs because I thought I wrote my bets down here, and they were not down here.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Kevin.
I know.
And this is why those listening are like, well, I thought it was a professional podcast, and I was really excited.
Wrong.
I was really.
I've got mine for y'all.
All right, give it to us, Drake.
All right, so I like the Cincinnati Bengals -3 against the Detroit Lions. The Lions are yet to have a win, and Bengals offense looks pretty good. I really like Arizona +3 or +3.5 if you can get it, but it looks like +3 across the board against Cleveland because Arizona looks like potentially the best team in the world right now, and they get 3 points, so I'll take it. And then the last one I like is, can you get it at 3? No. Denver -3.5 at home against the Raiders in Mile High. That's already an advantage. And then when your coach gets thrown off the planet game week, it's pretty tough to recoup from that. So there's my 3.
Old Gruden's grinders, huh? Gruden going through the grinder. By the way, our boys at iHeart are fighting hard for any sportsbook, pitching us and Kevin Ward's winners as a segment, and we're gonna get this bitch sponsored.
Whoever wants to take our money, they wouldn't be paying us. We basically
they would be technically paying us, and then hopefully in turn,
you just return the money to them.
Well, our fans would bet with them, and then that's how advertising works. But yeah. So what are the Ward's winners of the week?
Why don't you go? I got several picks here. Let me pick my favorite 3.
Okay. Michigan State has, they actually, I can't remember if I took them against, I did not take them. Did I take them against Nebraska? Yeah, I took Nebraska. I did not take Nebraska or the Michigan game. Michigan State played like they were supposed to. I like when teams, I bet on them and then they come through. I create an emotional attachment to it. Indiana has not looked good. They are at home versus Michigan State, but they have a really, really good running back. They know who they are offensively, and I'm going to take Michigan State -4.5 against the Indiana Hoosiers. I just don't think Indiana's just got a ringer of a schedule, and they just can't. There's no room to come up for air.
Indiana's at this point, off a bye week.
Well, yeah.
But how checked out do some of Indiana's players feel right now after the high that they started at?
Yeah.
You know, when you have such high expectations for a season, and now you're looking down the gun barrel of hoping you're 6-6.
Yeah. I am going to. This hurts to do.
Oh, he's taking Nebraska. He's doing it. He's doing it. He did it.
I don't know why you're good at guessing my picks, but I just,
because you're a scumbag and there's only a couple scumbag picks.
Well, dude, I see small point margins, and it's anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5. Looks like 4.5 on DraftKings. If you can get it at 4, it's even better, obviously. Nebraska is at Minnesota, and I don't know. I think
Minnesota just lost their now starting running back, which was their second string running back.
Right. Yeah.
But they are coming off a bye. But Nebraska looks like they're playing solid football, so I don't hate the pick. I hate you for making the pick.
I know. This is not one of my picks. What do you think about the shitbirds of the Big Ten in a battle this week? Rutgers at Northwestern. It started as a pick'em. It's Rutgers -2 right now. Over under 45. I mean, just what an ass game.
It's gonna be a horrible game to watch.
What a
Horrible.
That's
dog
the
shit game.
ultimate toilet bowl for the Big Ten.
Seriously, a toilet bowl. What is my third pick here? I'm looking at BYU. But
BYU making a little comeback after their loss.
yeah,
They're at Baylor.
they're at
correct?
Baylor, who has, and they're I don't think I bet against Dylan Doyle. I don't want to do that. You know what, Kev? You bet the favorites, right?
When in doubt, bet the favorite.
But in this case, wow, but people thought Arkansas could play with them too, and then Georgia trashed them. Kentucky's at Georgia, and people think Kentucky's good. And they are.
And what's
good.
the spread?
It's
It's like
23.
Oh my Lord.
I mean, they think Georgia's basically the 33rd NFL team at this point. The sports books do. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Georgia's been whipping ass. I think they're going to just take a little stumble, just enough to get, we only beat them by 20 instead of 23 today. It's going to be a 20-point victory in Georgia. I'll take Kentucky to stay within 23 points. Those are my three picks. Nebraska,
I respect it.
Michigan State, and Kentucky.
It's so tough taking the favorite in those big spreads.
So hard. Like when Alabama's favored by 58, and you're like, can they really win by that much? And then they do.
Right. But, at the same time, it's so easy for something dumb to happen in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Like the game's over and, you got the second teamers in there and, they don't know what the hell's going on and give up a touchdown or something like that.
I ever told you guys about how we used to put lines on our high school basketball game?
Yeah, you did. And you shaved points.
No. We did not shave points, but we did cheer against our second team who was trying to launch three balls and cover the spread on some of our losses. And those bench players sometimes fucked it up for everybody.
All right, good old Marshalltown High.
Home of the ultimate scumbag.
Kev, you got to listen to this. We did the Muskrat special. That's what I titled our Dickhead Tuesday pod on Patreon. We called it the Muskrat special because Muscatine, Kevin, home of Drake Kulik, is one of only two teams that has not won a game in 5A football this year in Iowa. The other team only has 20 players. So they've had to forfeit a couple of their games because they just don't have enough people to play. So Muscatine is struggling.
There was a 5A team out there with only 20 players, though?
Correct.
Oh, those poor guys.
Those poor guys.
That'd just be sad, like you're in a big school and you all go out to play football and only 20 of y'all show up.
You imagine it's like, all right, can we get an offense versus they can't even do an offense versus defense.
No.
There's no team period.
How do you practice?
Well, clearly you don't because they're 0-7.
Like you tell me anyone can walk in out of the student section and be the starting cornerback?
Oh, yes. They'll be more fresh than whoever is there right now. Yeah. And Drake's shaking his head because Muscatine's on the same level. Marshalltown even has 2 wins, 2-5. Muscatine.
What happened to hometown, Drake?
It's home of the Muskrats.
Dude, the kids are a bunch of pussies, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Drake's a grown ass man these days.
He's like, I'm 27 years old, and I'll tell you what, the kids back in Muscatine High School, they need to suck it the fuck up.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that coaching staff just doesn't deserve it.
Is it the same coaching staff from when you were there?
I mean, a lot of them, and a lot of them are great guys and really good football coaches who are leaders of pretty respectable men.
Drake, you know what they need.
I'm not going back there.
Drake, you know what they need. Coach Kulik. Come on. Get them boys straightened out. We're going 2 days.
Dude, I think we only have 30 people that go out for the team.
Man, that's tough. What do they all do there?
Dude, what? It's so
Smoke
sad
meth?
to see.
Okay, meth. All right.
It's sad to see. not as many kids going out for football anymore. I know this is kind of across the country too.
Yes, dangerous sport.
My my high school team doesn't even have a sophomore team anymore. We just have a freshman and a varsity.
Wow. What's going on? Kids are getting soft,
Football's
huh?
dying, man. Like 5 or 10 years ago, they talked about football dying because soccer moms were like so scared of CTE.
Yeah.
And
look, you're just
now-
confirming everything.
Well, that's great, but at least I'm not a bitch.
At least I'll die.
Ain't afraid of a little brain damage, you little bitch.
Alrighty. Wow. Hey, everybody wants to be a TikToker these days. No one wants to run the B play.
And that's exactly why the United States of America is in the position that it is.
Everybody wants to get fancy like Applebee's on the date.
Oh my God. Is that the worst commercial on TV right now?
And then there's a dance Oreo shake something. I don't even know what it
That's
is.
the worst commercial on TV right now.
And there's no kids out there that are sitting there thinking, I need to get another bench set in. You know what? It's 9 p.m. I'm going to the squat rack. None of those fuckers out there anymore. Which, by the way, those of you who listen to the Big E pod, which comes out in 24 hours from this one, the man was squatting the low 600s in high school. And benching.
That should be what you aspire to be.
And benching 315 for 10.
TikTok was sent by China to sabotage the American youth.
To sabotage American
and it took
football.
over their entire mind. So, I mean, when the American youth is no longer the youth, they're the adults of America. And the only thing that they know how to do is TikTok on their cell phones. We're fucked.
It's gonna be a tough world. You know what does make it easier though?
We need these kids to argue nonsensical facts with people they don't know on Twitter, like normal people.
Oh man, somehow we've been all the way sidetracked, and Kevin still hasn't given us his picks of the week. So,
yeah, sure.
Give us your picks, and then let's get the hell out of here, man. Because this is
all right. We've talked about UConn being the worst team in college football.
Yeah.
Like probably the third or fourth worst team in college football is Vanderbilt. And South Carolina is playing them at home minus 18.5. Give me the Gamecocks of South Carolina.
Over what's Vanderbilt? The Commodores?
The Commodores, yes.
Yeah. They got TikTokers over there.
What?
They got a bunch of TikTok kids on their team.
Oh, yeah, probably, man. They don't have defenders. I know that.
They got offense and TikTok.
All right. My next pick is the middle of the season open tryout walk-ons for Arizona.
The Arizona Wild Pussies
playing.
I almost used the C word.
Wild.
Playing the Colorado Buffaloes. Okay. So we got the fresh in the building. Probably never played football before. Arizona Wildcats against the fresh in the against the Colorado Buffaloes. I like the under in that game. I don't think there's going to be a lick of offense to be seen. Under on 45.
You don't think they can find the end zone, huh?
I think you're going to. I don't know. It's going to be a horrible football game. Maybe it's a horrible game that no one can play defense. I don't know. They're both terrible.
Okay.
I like the under. When in doubt on two teams being terrible, generally the defenses are less terrible than the offenses.
It's true.
Because as we saw before Ricky Bobby joined the Mud Dogs, they couldn't move the ball at all.
Wrong movie. Wrong character in the wrong movie.
Yeah, you're right. Bobby Boucher. I had the Bobby right.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at right now.
It's
7. It's 7 in Drake's world, but it's almost 9 here, which is why maybe the energy is just a level lower than it usually is. Okay. And that was your second pick, right?
That was my second pick. Yep. Third pick. I'm in between two SEC plays right here. And I think I'm going with Alabama hopping back minus 17 at Mississippi State. I think they come back from last week's loss.
Do we want Bama?
Sure, why not?
Okay. At this point, maybe.
It'd be fun.
You know?
Why not do it? Let's tangle one time.
Tory Taylor punting the ball.
Yeah, there is something to the argument of like, well, I mean, regardless if there's like 2 top teams in the country who are clearly better than everybody else on average, like you still got to put at least 2 more in with them, right? So why not Iowa, huh?
Why not us? Right. So,
yeah. Okay. I was going to say, let's just think for one moment if Iowa pulls off the miracle, right? The miracle season, just runs that bitch all the way to the Natty and wins that thing. First of all, the walk-ons will be there. Okay. And then I can die happy.
National championships in Indy this year.
I know. So we'd actually be going to the Lucas Oil, which we're going to have CTE. We're going to have CTE trauma from that place.
PTSD.
Yeah. PTSD. If,
imagine just close your eyes and imagine we lose that sumbitch on the last second again.
Oh God.
Kevin, look.
Kevin's not sleeping tonight, dude. That's it. Let's stop rambling. And that's 257.
Dude, I think we suck tonight.
It wasn't an all-time podcast. I think there was some good stuff in the beginning. The conversation about Penn State was fun.
Anybody who listens to this on Thursday, just know that tomorrow being Friday, it's a happy Friday. You guys get Big E. So
it's such a good podcast. I'm so excited for all you to hear it. Last thing before we go, someone I know, I'm not going to name names, is not going to the game this weekend, gave me 4 tickets.
Wow.
So, and we already had 2 tickets. And so I thought maybe if we do a little Patreon giveaway for 4 tickets to the Purdue game, stay tuned
to this game that you say you cannot buy tickets to anymore, correct?
Well, yeah, right. They've all been bought by someone who may now potentially be reselling them or giving them away, which is us. So yeah. Stay tuned on that. I'll post in Patreon what that looks like. But thanks for joining us on 257. And go get yourself a little turtle soup or something for old James Franklin. All I think about is Ben Franklin when I think about that motherfucker. I don't know why. We're out of here. Peace.